All right, I know we're all super excited to talk about this, as we usually are. And that's Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 7, entitled Chaos Theory. Full spoilers follow. As Daisy and the team try to protect Inhumans, a shocking truth is revealed about S.H.I.E.L.D's biggest enemy. And with Fitz's help, Simmons recovers information that could get them back through the portal. So obviously, big thing here is Lash gets outed thanks to a good old, Lincoln. I always forget his name. I want to call him Sparky. But so, Connor, what did you think about this episode?
Yeah, I was surprised that they kind of went into Lash so quickly. I thought it'd be at least a couple of episodes, even though like May sort of got the thing at the end of the last one. I thought it'd just be a few episodes till everyone knew, and it was kind of pretty much dealt with for now, because that's it, really.
Yeah, captured. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought they were gonna maybe stretch it out a bit more into the end of the first half of the season.
yeah.
That would make perfect sense. Like have that be the final showdown or whatever. And like, nope, very next episode.
This would have surprised me last year or like 2 years ago, but given the pace that they've been maintaining for the last year and a half, I'm not surprised. I mean,
Yeah.
they could have dragged it out for a couple more episodes, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, let's keep in mind this is episode 7, so not only have they introduced and resolved the Lash storyline, but we've also had Hunter go in and out of Hydra, and we've had like all of this shit has happened in
And that's
such
with
a
an
little amount of time.
entire episode with Simmons on the other planet.
Yeah,
This is really 6 episodes worth of stuff it's gone in.
yeah.
Yeah, well, Simmons was missing in the beginning too, so we've already got her back, and she's already like healed, and now she's like working on like coming back to work.
And it doesn't feel unnatural or anything. Like it's all flowed very organically. It's just, man, remember back during season 1 where it's like 7 episodes in, we're like, what is this show even about
I,
at this
I
point?
dropped it. I got 5 or 6 episodes in, and I just stopped watching. And it wasn't until I heard that it
Winter
got
Soldier
good by
stuff.
the end, and yeah, and that season 2 was looking good, that I thought, oh, I'll actually go back and force myself through it.
Yeah, so only this little bit into the season, we're already like at a very brisk pace, which I appreciate a lot because
Yeah.
the lash stuff is very interesting. But I'm glad that they went ahead and dealt with it because last week one of my things was, oh, I want to know what the psychology of this transformation is, and they go right into that.
Yeah.
Lincoln gives his explanation. It's like, oh well, with Inhumans that do transformations like this, so obviously he knows something about something from before. It's about losing less of that person and becoming more of the beast within, or whatever, however he put it. So, what do you guys think about that? Like how that affects this character? What do you make of it?
Well, it makes sense that I think he's kind of saying that flipping back and forth shouldn't be normal. Like it's just because he's in transition. At some point, he will just be Lash permanently.
Yeah.
But it still didn't completely understand. Like he just kind of explained it as a feeling. Like the reason why he was killing them was just because he had this feeling that he needed to do it, and then he felt relief afterwards. But like, how come nobody else has been introduced to have that kind of situation when they're inhuman? Why him specifically?
Yeah, like Sky's not got any like not even that specific need, but she doesn't have any need. There's no like inkling to do something specific like that.
Yeah, or Lincoln
Yeah.
or anybody else, like the guy that can melt.
I wonder
the,
if it's less
metal.
to do with the transformation then, and more just to do with him being like a therapist and like wanting to understand things and like people, whereas then he just has to. He kind of rationalizes the person and then just has to deal with them the way he sees fit, but he deals with them in a different way as Lash as he does as a therapist.
Interesting. I was thinking maybe it had more to do with maybe it was a. I mean, we haven't gotten anything in terms of like what is it's Terrigen. That's the thing that
Yeah,
transforms
Terrigen.
him.
Yeah.
I mean, are there like multiple different kinds or something? Because I'm wondering if like in the book maybe it's like as because it's supposed to keep people away unless they are actually inhuman. So maybe if they actually are inhuman, then it's like I don't want to just say like a strain or something, but you get what I'm saying. If it's like something to intentionally drive an inhuman crazy, maybe. I don't really know.
See, that kind of seems a bit pointless because the whole idea of putting the mist or whatever it was there on the book was so that it would just not let
Kill 'em.
non-Inhumans read it.
Right.
So presumably, if they could survive the Terrigen, then they were allowed to read it essentially.
Yeah, I think his bloodlust for Inhumans is just random. It's just
Yeah.
something
Seems to be
specific
because
to
of
him.
reasons.
Yeah. I do want to talk about. I think I'm glad they did get through it quickly because I enjoyed the episode actually a lot for just about everything else, but I do think the Lash stuff is a little disappointing. I said last week that I thought the twist was a bit too random for my taste. It just kind of felt out of nowhere. And I talked about how, well, there's two options here. Either he was always like that, or it happened after the Terrigen got out, which it did. I mean, it wasn't the Terrigen went into the ocean, but it was the same difference. It was after him and May went on a trip, you know, at the end of last season, and then he got hit with the mist and became Lash. And I thought that was... It works in the sense that it doesn't mean that if you go back and watch season 2 now, that he's, like, nothing's clicking because it didn't happen yet, right? But it's also the least interesting of the options because it'd have been cooler if it did affect everything in season 2 and you went back and watched it and went, oh shit, there's little things
There's clues everywhere. Yeah.
But that's not the case, so it became less interesting from that perspective.
Yeah.
And I do think there was a couple of his lines of dialogue specifically that I thought were a bit on the nose. Just when he was talking to May and trying to over-explain it and about his feelings, I thought it was a little bit overwritten.
I still think it's a little bit too comic booky. Like everything else is a lot more grounded.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing a lot with just S.H.I.E.L.D. and like even Hydra's not even involved in this episode. So everything else was very much focused on just the character. And this just feels like really, really comic booky. It just kind of sticks out because of that.
Yeah, a little bit cartoony. Yeah. There was some good stuff though. I mean, like spread throughout, and I did like all the character stuff from everyone else.
What were some standout moments for you, Peter?
I loved Sky doing our rescue of the falling. What's her face? I can't remember her name from ATCU. Rosalind. There you go. First of all, very similar to a save that happened in Flash this week. Two very similar saves. But I like that. It was really cool. I love whenever our powers kick in, our theme plays. I'm a sucker for a good let's play our main theme sort of moment in shows and stuff. So that was cool. The Fitzsimmons stuff. Fitz watching the footage was great. When he seen that picture and he just started hitting things, I was like, yeah. Fucking get angry. Yeah, Fitz, come on.
It's crushing.
I felt his pain.
But I love the way they add so much depth to it because it really makes you conflicted because you understand the anger, but then he watches the videos and he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I understand it and I care about her, but fuck.
But then she starts, and then he watches all the videos about her, or about him specifically, and her talking about how much she loves him and all that, and they basically admit it at the end of the episode when they're watching the sunrise, which is a nice callback to her episode because that's what she was doing on the planet. That's what she couldn't do for so long, and they got one chance to see a sunrise. And he brings it up, so I didn't know you wanted to go there. That's in Scotland, and she's like, I know where it is.
Yeah,
and it was because for me, I've never heard of the place, by the way, in case you were wondering. I'm sure it exists. There's lots of little places in Scotland that I've never heard of, but I like that because that was like, because it was specifically Scotland, it was kind of like her wanting to settle down where he's from, and that made it extra kind of touching. And then they're like, what do we do about this? And he's like, well, for now, let's just watch the sunrise. And I like that.
I wanted him to just hold her hand in that moment. Come on.
Yeah,
State your claim, bro.
I'd like some
that
hand
dude is
holding.
out there, and you just saw a bunch of she admitted, just you're there now.
Well, that's one of the things that pisses me off though about the situation is like, it doesn't seem like she's really completely understood the fact that he devoted the last X amount of time to nothing but finding her.
Yeah,
and because even she like never gave up. But even when that flare finally came up, she was like, "Oh my God, Fitz, he found us."
Yeah, she knew who it was.
There was like a little bit of hope always in the back that she knew that he would not stop until he found her, and that doesn't seem to phase her. Like she's still been acting kind of weird to him, and like she wouldn't try because he tried so hard to find her. I don't know.
I think with her, it's just she doesn't know. She's still
doesn't know what to do.
She doesn't know what to do with her feelings. She's internalizing everything because she had to for so long, and I think
she's
most
still
of her
adjusting to reality.
Yeah. I think most of her focus was just getting back in the swing of like, oh, gravity is normal again, and I can pick up a phone and whatever. Mario, what were some standout moments for you this episode?
The stuff with Fitz. I mean, it's, stuff with Fitz and Simmons has stood out the entire season. I think it's been the best part. Period.
It's been the heart of the show.
Yeah.
Because it's done. Because I love how it's done so well. Like I think with any other shows, like I know you guys like Flash and Arrow, but I think with those shows, it would have been just as far as, oh, I'm jealous and I'm gonna knock things over, and that's as much depth I'm gonna add to this. With these, it's been constantly like, no, here's 3 other things he's feeling that make perfect sense and are more normal and human in real life than just, oh, I'm jealous and I need to be jealous for this episode or whatever. So that stuff really stood out a lot to me.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we should probably switch gears into the ATCU front. Because, we got some reveals at the end, but we also got Rosalind coming in on docking midair and stuff. And she's like, oh, I've never come onto a flying ship before. I guess I could cross that off my bucket list. And, like showing her around of stuff. But
well, I mean, the whole Lash thing was kind of like a perfect thing for making Sky realize that sometimes they kind of have to freeze someone in the hopes that they might find a cure, because their power is just not something they can live with. It's just going to destroy them and everyone around them. And then her saving Rosalind was like, oh shit, okay, maybe we should.
Maybe they're not all bad.
Yeah, like some of them are good. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't just be freezing them all.
They were building that throughout the episode as well. Like when she got onto the ship, and they were like, all right, well, she's going to take you on the tour.
Yeah.
Instead of Coulson.
And then she looked at her like she was just like being really racist. Like, what? One of them? One of them's going to take me around? Are you serious?
I think she was just afraid that she might get thrown out of a door.
Yeah.
Something.
Or something.
So Connor, what do you think about the end reveal about Rosalind?
This show just adds layers upon layers of everything. Like there's no. It's the same thing that Mary was just saying with Fitz. It's not just one thing. There's always multiple things going on, but that goes across the entire show. There's always layers of everything doing different things at once.
Does everyone remember who the guy is?
It's from the council.
Yeah, he's from Avengers. Yeah, he's on the World Council. I just make sure.
Booth.
Yeah. Because it's been so long since any of us have seen him in the MCU. I just thought some people might. So for anyone who's watching, if you didn't recognize him, that he was in the first Avengers movie. Yeah. Talking to Nick Fury on the monitor.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. Yeah, they've done a really good job of bringing back people like the
president from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, which we were expected to see in this episode, and then it's like, I can't believe I have to say this, but the president has to wait.
I thought he was going to show in there. I'm like, cool, now we got a couple more people tying into the movies.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Well, we heard his voice. He was on TV a few episodes ago, so he has kind of appeared. The one I saw, obviously not to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. specifically, but the one I really liked was when they brought back that Dick from Iron Man 2, and he turned out to be Hydra and Winter Soldier. Remember the guy who was like the hearing, like to get Iron Man's armor, and he turned out to be Hydra, and it kind of was like, oh, so that's why he wanted the armor so bad, was because he's actually a member of Hydra, and that actually works really well. That was smart.
Yeah, a lot of nice little things. But anyway, back to the twist at the end.
Rosalind, the seductive pest that she is, taking our dear Coulson's heart, and now she's going to crush it.
Well, I mean, that's what I like about this. Is like, I at first I was like, oh, that sucks, but then thought about maybe he's playing her.
It's all those layers.
And then I started thinking like, maybe Fury's involved too. Like, you don't know how far this goes.
So Fury was in the bedroom with them. That's what you're saying.
No, he's making eggs at the diner down the street. He's waiting.
Yeah.
He knows what Coulson likes.
Unless maybe she doesn't know that he's evil or something like that, and that'll be maybe where it goes. But so much layers.
Yeah, there's a lot we could speculate on here, but at the pace that this season's going, we'll probably get all the answers next week.
I know. I'm like, oh man, maybe we'll hopefully see that by the end of the first half. Nope, next week. Everything gets resolved. And then we got a bunch of other new stuff. Yeah.
No, I think we're all in agreement though. This is a pretty great episode.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think that will do it for this week's review of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.